Hey guys, it's Ojiman, and today I want to teach you guys the biggest lesson that I've learned from my whole Japanese journey. Now, this lesson is, don't be a pussy. So what I mean by this is not, don't be a pussy, like immersed 50 hours a day in that. I don't mean that. What I mean is that, say you set a goal, yeah? And your goal is, I want to be perfect in Japanese. Like I want to master it, I want to be fluent in a year. If that's your goal, you need to take those necessary steps to get to that goal. You can't just be like, I want a balanced approach to get fluent in a year. Like you're doing something extremely difficult and you want to do it in an extremely short amount of time, but you want to do it in a balanced way. How does that add up? Like, do you think that actually adds up properly? Do you think that's possible when you ask yourself that question? Like if you're setting these like extreme goals, you better expect to have extreme, steps to get there. But on the other hand, when I say don't be a pussy, this works for all other goals. If your goal is, I want to spend 3 years and get pretty good at Japanese. Like, I want to get to like basic fluency, like communicate with people, understand everything, that basic kind of fluency. And you say, then you make the goal, of, I'll immerse like 1 hour to 3 hours a day of active immersion, do a little bit of passive, do my Anki, a bit of that. Some people would consider that balanced, but it's not just balanced, it's realistic. You're setting a realistic goal. But if you're going to set an extreme goal, like I just said, don't be a pussy and do what it takes to actually get there. And don't discredit other people who have done that in a short amount of time just because you couldn't do it. Just because they did it in a short amount of time, you can't discredit that and be like, oh, well, that was not realistic, so who else can do that? Do you know who else can do that? Other people who make the sacrifices necessary to get to their goals that they want to achieve. Now, that's not to say it's for everyone. Everyone has a different path and different goals with Japanese and what they want to do. But you need to set necessary goals and actually, take the steps necessary to get to those goals. Now, it's the same thing, with what I said in my last video, the Hikaru challenge, I got a few comments of saying, this is impractical. This, who has time to do this? I only immerse an hour and a half a day. This is not practical for me. Of course it's not fucking practical. What do you expect? That's not the point. If you want practicality, go do fucking refold, migaku, some shit like that. That's not what we're here for. The Hikaru challenge is to take you from zero Japanese to fluency through listening to all of his videos. Anyone who listens to that, do you think that's a fucking balanced approach? Of course it's not. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to have a pretty extreme method which will give extreme results. If you listen to 1500 hours of Hikaru content, what do you think is going to happen? Like realistically, you're not going to end up understanding nothing. You'll understand all of his videos, for one. You'll also understand a bunch of other Japanese. You'll also end up speaking exactly like him probably. That's my, hypothesis of what will happen throughout this. So if you want to get extremely good at Japanese, don't be a pussy and just do the Hikaru challenge. Or do something else, you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be this challenge. This challenge is it's just to set a precedent of if you want to get really good, this is a way you can do it. Get one YouTuber, watch all of his videos, go through it. You don't have to do it for Hikaru. Realistically, if you don't care about this challenge or any of this, and you just want to do it for whoever, pick another YouTuber, just go through all of his things, watch them all. You'll get the similar results. I mean, probably not the same because Hikaru has so much fucking content, so the amount of hours in his content is ridiculous, 1500 hours. Other YouTubers don't have that. So at the end, you'll be immersing more in the Hikaru content if you go through all of that. So obviously you're going to get more results because you put more time in. But you'll still get similar results if you pick another YouTuber. That's not the point. But the point is, if you want to get some extreme results, this is an extreme challenge. You get what I mean? We're not here to create a fucking balanced approach for everyone refold or something like that. No, this is the Hikaru challenge. It's different. It's different. It's for people who want to go from nothing to fluency in a very short amount of time and do it in an extreme way. Of course, it's not going to be balanced. But yeah, that was just a side note on that challenge. But the whole main point of this video is, if you want to get really good, really quick, don't be a pussy and do what it takes. And if you're not going to do what it takes to get there really quick, pick a more, slower approach, but don't knock on other people who do some crazy shit to do it really quickly because they've done what is necessary to get to their goals. But it doesn't matter, we're all learning Japanese together. So you don't want to discriminate against other people who have different goals and all that. We're all in it together to learn and get better together. So the whole point is to motivate each other and do all that. But still, don't bring other people down because they're doing more extreme things than you. And also don't bring other people down just because they're doing less and they don't have as big goals. It doesn't matter. All that matters is you go towards your goal. But my main point here is is if you set a goal, actually do it and find a way to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to get the results you want. Like, that's one of the biggest things I see from this, people who deny the immersion approach and all that. What they'll say is like, oh, I listened to like one 5-minute radio broadcast every fucking 3 days and I didn't get any better at Japanese. Therefore, immersion doesn't work. No, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that you didn't fucking do it. Like, of course it's not going to work if you don't put in the time. That's the point. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you're going to do like this approach, or you want to get like really good using immersion or something like that, you have to actually take the steps necessary to get to your end goal. You can't just like say, oh, immersion works, so therefore I'll do a little bit and I'll get there. No, that's not going to work. You have to put in the time, put in the hours, and eventually you'll get there. So yeah, this is just a quick video just to remind everyone, don't be a pussy and do your Japanese, and join the Discord. We can all go together in the Hikaru challenge fucking channel, and we can all motivate each other to not be pussies. Everyone motivate me not to be a pussy and skip out on, my Slovak and Japanese and all that. And yeah, we can all work together to better each other and get to higher and higher levels of Japanese. Thanks, guys.